Hello, it's Julie at Love's Beginning, and I was going to make a video this morning, and then I thought, hang on, I've just been weeping, so I better not do that. I better just wait to go, to for my face to settle down, and then I can make one later. And then I heard, well, why would you wait? I'm thinking, well, because I've been weeping. Oh, I'm ashamed. I want to hide it. And they're saying that's exactly what you shouldn't do because weeping and laughing, I was listening just to a song and it just flipped a switch in me. I just started crying and crying, and but it was a good cry. And it was one of those cries where you don't even know exactly what it's touching, but it's something like unhealthy attachments in relationship or that sort of negativity perspectives that we don't need like a sweeping out, but at the same time you're trying to hold on. And as I was crying, I heard crying always ends in a sigh, like you the contraction and expansion, and then in the end, it's a surrender. It's part of surrender, and that's what this process is for it. So why not? Why hide that? I mean, celebrate that you have. I think they told me it's like crying is like an on-call spa for the soul. It's available to you at any time. So who's going to, I don't want to say promote, celebrate crying if you don't? Like, I'm a good crier. I really appreciate what it does. So that was like a word from our sponsor. I don't know, just a moment to acknowledge and appreciate the role of crying. It's as good as laughing. It's both of them shake out what we don't need anymore. So we don't have to prefer one over the other. We can appreciate both. I'll link this if I remember the song I was listening to below. It was like an emotional broom. Like all this stuff came up. So if it does that for you, then I'm glad because it's always a good thing. To the topic today is not crying. However, it's about a choice we have in each moment. And the way it was put to me was which mind will you choose? And it was like, do you want to choose effort, ego, struggle, steam coming out your ears, judgment, put all the things in this basket over here? Or if they're saying it's very simple. Do you want to choose ease, abundance, love, awareness? And what they're really bringing my attention to is it's every moment. They're saying this so slowly to me to say, like, Julie, slow down. And remember that it is every single moment. And you always have time to take a breath. You always have time to stop. So, as much as I think I've let go, as much as I think has transformed for the better, I still feel every day in lots of different ways like a driving force. And the driving force can be really good because it calls us onward. It reflects our desires, and all desires are the desire for peace and connectedness underneath everything. Um, but when it's a drive that encourages me to hold on to tension or to use tension, fear as a motivator or as an engine, I can really feel these days how it's time to let that tension go. And so that's when I get the instruction, there are these two modalities. There's the old one that we're so accustomed to that we don't even see it. And then there's the new one that, well, it's not the new one. We've all exercised it in one way or another. Everybody has their strength of just being. Everybody does. So it's not like we've never used this mode. And no, we're just expanding upon what is already there, what is already active in all of us in one way or another. We all have that ease with this modality I'm talking about to share with one another because it is what we are. And the body would not be alive if it couldn't express through us in some way. So, what they're saying is, yeah, that modality is alive and active in everybody. Good to see it, good to notice it. When you notice it in others, you expand it in yourself. So, just the idea that we can let the tension go with intention, with the willingness to stop and to breathe and go to the still point where we all are, where we're all functioning really well, where we all have that spark of love and light active and extending out to the world in some way. And then everything we don't need that interferes with smooth functioning because we think we need to hang on to something, make this fist, like we need to control something. We need to keep something for ourselves. We need to maintain. Oh, this is where identification comes in. We need to maintain some condition in our lives because it tells us who we are. So, if there's anything like that for you, if you're struggling to maintain something because without it, you won't have a positive view of yourself, or you won't know who you are, or perhaps others won't think well of you. Anything we're struggling to maintain, we're being invited to go to the breath and forget about it and ask the simple question, how do I want my day to go today? What do I want to run my day? Do I want struggle to run my day? Do I want ease to run my day? Do I want a sensation of constriction or confinement to run my day? Or do I want a sense of freedom to run my day? And what they say is you really, really, really get to choose. And if you think you're in a place right now where you're not experiencing any of that good stuff, they say just start at the breath and the choice point and affirm what you're choosing, okay? I choose freedom today, and I'm willing to release anything that would stand between me and my experience of it. I don't care what it is I have to release anymore. You get to that point in surrender, and that's where the crying comes and helps us, and the laughter comes and helps us. We're surrendering everything we don't need, and there is so much that we don't need. So if we think of it like spring cleaning, and when you've done a good purge in one of the rooms of your house or a drawer or closet, it's very much like that. There's so much we don't need and a bunch we're still holding on to. It's not fault or not wrong for holding on. We've just been confused. So I'm being shown like these boxes and boxes of things we really don't need, and just put them out on the curb. Just let them go. So I will focus on that today. I will focus on the breath, and I will remind myself that I don't drive myself. You hear how there are two of them there? There's only one of them. So what they're reminding me of is the one of us expresses in ease. That is just the truth of the one of us. So if we catch two of us, I am driving myself, then just take a look at it. Just look at it and take a breath and take another breath and see what arises, see what leaves. The idea of loving yourself. I love myself. Well, we can even get rid of the two of them there. You don't have to love yourself. You are love. So if you just remember that you are love, and so is everybody else, and everybody else has that spark alive in them in some way, And that's the part you can go to and notice and expand upon. And that's the part you can go to and notice and expand upon in you. Then it's just the one of us expressing everywhere. So they keep bringing me down to simplicity. It's very simple, just the one thing, and the breath. I hope that helps you today, and I'm wishing you well.